certificate program, that's what we're here for. So we're there to serve you. We're located in Pleasanton, but they're all over. We also have a one-stop that's right here in Concord as well for those in Contra Costa County. So come out, visit us, and see how we can help you. I already see some familiar faces in the audience this morning too, so that's good. I'm glad that you all are using all of the resources available to you. I don't have very much time this morning, so what I want to get into is my topic of interviewing skills. Actually, it's kind of funny. It says interviewing G basics. I don't know what that was about, but I promise you, hopefully the slides will work with me this morning. It's supposed to say interviewing basics. But my talk this morning is not, I know, you guys caught it? You just caught it now, yeah, interviewing G basics. Okay, anyway. So my topic for you this morning, you have plenty of people coming here talking to you about resume skills, interviewing skills, so I'm going to take a different approach this morning. I'm not really going to focus on the how-to as much as I am about the mentality. Because, as you know, 80+% or 90% of communication is nonverbal. It's about the greatest distance between you and success are those 6 inches between your ears. And so I want to talk today about identity. I want to talk about who do you say you are to yourself. When you wake up in the morning and you look in the mirror, who are you? What are you saying to yourself? How are you motivating yourself? And I heard when I was talking to Bruce a little bit earlier and as I was doing research on Job Connections, you do have a lot of people in here that are coming and motivating you and pumping you up, and that's important. But the most important person, who do you think is the most important person to pump yourself up? Yourself. Yeah, yourself. Absolutely, you're right. And so that's what I like to focus on more with my clients. You can learn the how-tos, you can Google it. Go onto the internet and you can find all the things, what to wear and how to answer the questions. But guess what? You can say all the right things, you can look the look. But if you don't feel great about yourself, then you're not going to have all the success that you deserve in life. And so my goal, just like Bruce said, the greatest thing I can do is help one of my participants have a light bulb that goes off. They learn a concept that serves them for the rest of their life. And so in the next half an hour, I hope that I can, or 45 minutes, however long I talk, and I like to talk, I hope that if you can get anything, just get one concept that you can utilize for the rest of your life. And today will be a success for me. All right. Now, I like a lot of audience participation, and so I'm going to ask, feel free to yell out every now and then. I'm going to ask you a question, and if you have an answer, just yell it on out, okay? We're going to have a very interactive presentation. First thing I want to talk about, has anyone ever heard of Jim Rohn? One of my mentors, Jim Rohn. A couple of people. Fantastic. Phenomenal author. If you have paper and pen, you definitely want to write his name down. A phenomenal author and motivational speaker. He just passed away, God rest his soul, about a year and a half ago. This man is amazing. And there's something that I learned from him, a philosophy that I've utilized to really fashion and form my life. And it's also based on a biblical principle. And basically, he talks about how you become what you think about. Did you all know that? We become what we think about. Now, you hear a lot of people talking about you need to have positive thinking, you need to have a positive attitude, and we hear it all the time, but it's not as easy as just deciding to have a positive attitude and now we're going to be positive for the rest of our lives. Did you know that our brains are naturally wired to gear toward the negative? And I can tell just by looking at some of your faces, this morning hasn't been that good of a morning. So, what I'd like us to do is to practice, let's just practice putting a smile on our face. Oh, you all look so nice. Very good. So what we become what we think about, right? The Bible says, as a man thinketh, so is he. And so I want to talk about what are we thinking about. And I want to ask you all, when you wake up in the morning, what are you thinking about? Now I know, being a career counselor, I work with a lot of people that are in transition. Going from one position at one job for whatever reason that you left it, whether you left it on purpose, whether you chose to leave, whether you're just entering the world from school and you haven't even had your first position yet, whether you were fired, whether you were laid off by no fault of your own, transition is difficult. I get that. Transition is It's a time of where a lot of fear and worry and depression and anxiety can come about. And if we let that be all that we focus on, we're going to have a really tough time trying to figure out what direction we want to go on. And so today we're going to talk a lot about what are you thinking about? Because as a man thinketh, so is he. You become what you think about. Jim Rohn wrote a book called The 5 Major Pieces to the Life Puzzle. And he basically talks about, he breaks down this concept. He says what you think about, or your philosophy, shapes your attitude, or the way that you feel. So how you think shapes the way that you feel. Have you ever felt stressful about the bills that are coming up, or worrisome about, if I don't get this interview, I won't be able to pay my mortgage again? Of course. Your philosophy, sometimes people have a lack philosophy, saying, you know what, this is all that I'm going to get. I might as well go for this $8 an hour job because nothing else seems to be working out. That's a philosophy. That's the way that you're thinking. Or someone else can say, you know what, I know what I deserve. I know the value that I bring, and I know that I deserve all the best in life. I'm a daughter of the King. I'm a son of the King. God does not lack in resources, and I'm not trying to preach at all. It just comes from within me. So I'm not trying to tell you what to believe, but I am trying to say the way that we see the world shapes the way that we feel. Who do you think will have more positive results? A negative thinker or a positive thinker?
Positive thinker.
A positive thinker. A person that sees the opportunity laid out before them, rather than a person that sees all the challenges laid out before them. Everyone do me a favor. Put your hand up. Very good. And put your hand right in front of your face. Now I want everybody to choose a point on the wall. Let's choose the picture of Jim Rohn there. Everybody, with your hand in front of your face, focus on Jim Rohn's face, his smiling little face up there. Okay, when you focus on Jim Rohn's face, what do you see? Do you see your fingers, or are you focused in on his face? His face, right? Now take your focus off of his face and put him on your hand. He's still there, right? But what do you see now?
My finger.
You see your fingers. Thank you. Thank you for your participation. This is what happens when your philosophy is positive versus negative. The opportunity is there for each and every one of you. We're all alive, which means we still have our life's work to accomplish. If we had accomplished our life's work, we would be done already. But when we focus on the positive or the opportunity, it's difficult to concentrate on the challenges. When we focus on the challenges, our focus on the opportunity dissipates. So there's opportunity there for everybody, okay? So when you think from a positive philosophy, our philosophies are shaped by the world around us. They're shaped by our parents growing up, our teachers, our peers. That's the way that we see the world, and that's okay. Whatever happened up to now, that's okay. But when the way that we see the world shapes our attitude, whether we feel hopeful, whether we have faith, whether we believe that we can do it, whether we're excited about waking up in the morning, or whether we feel like we just want to climb under the covers, put the covers over our head and just stay in bed all day and watch movies or something and eat popcorn, I don't know. So the way that you think affects the way that you feel, which really affects the next thing. So your philosophy creates your attitude, which creates your actions. Who do you think is going to take action on finding their next opportunity? Is it going to be the positive thinker or the negative thinker? The positive thinker, absolutely. So, and that's probably the person that's going to go out there and be proactive with their day, as opposed to somebody that says it's not going to work out anyway. I feel miserable. I'm just going to go to the park. That's what creates your results. So, certain people just have all the luck, right? They get the great job, they get the great wife, they have great kids, they have a great house, they have a great life. They just have all the luck. That's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is you become what you think about. We have to stop wandering through life and just letting life happen to us, and we have to start concentrating on what we're thinking about. I had a difficulty when I was growing up with beating myself up. You know, all the different kids. I was picked on growing up. And so I was one of the kids that said, you know what? Well, if everyone else is beating me up, then I guess I might as well beat myself up too. They must be right. So I started beating myself up. And I learned a philosophy. Every time I caught myself saying something negative about myself, I had to replace it with 5 positive things. And so I told my friends, if you ever hear me saying, oh, I'm so stupid, which I said all the time, oh, I'm such a moron, oh, I messed that up, oh, just beating myself up, they would be like, you have to replace that with 5 positive things. Oh, I'm beautiful, I'm smart, I'm great with people. And it was hard to come up with 5 things at first, but it works. And so I challenge you all, if you ever come up with something negative, replace that with something positive and watch how your actions and your results start to change. And of course, the final thing is your life. Your philosophy affects your attitude, which affects the actions that you take, which affects the results that you get, which ultimately affects your lifestyle. And where we are today is a result of the 5 years, whatever decisions we've made over the past 5 years is reflected in where our life is today. But don't worry about what's in the past. I give you permission from this day forward to focus on the future. Whatever you want to be 5 years from now determines on how you choose to think today moving forward. So, and I don't, unfortunately, I don't get to go over my entire presentation with you today. I just don't have enough time. But what I will do, I hope, is just to get your wheels turning and get you thinking about what you're thinking about and helping you with the 80% mentality stuff. I'm not going to get into the 20% know-how stuff or how-to stuff on how to interview. You'll have to come visit me at the One Stop if you want that. But at least I'm gonna dabble into the 80% mentality that goes into the interview. And then that last 20% you'll get. If you have that 80%, the 20% of how-to will come. So let's start with who. Let's start with your identity. Who are you? Really. Look at this picture. Don't we all feel like that little kitty cat sometimes? But who are we? What's our real identity? Who does God say that we are? You know, if we really knew our real identity, we would all realize we are a fierce lion. We are able to accomplish so much in life. Unfortunately, because we believe what the lies that we've been told, we have all this goop that's been filling up in our head over the years telling us, well, yeah, you know, you're okay, but you don't have that bachelor's degree. You only have a high school diploma, so you can only really get so far. Or, yeah, well, you know, all the other kids, they could read better than you could, or they could do math. They understood numbers better than you did. So, you know, you're not really that great. Or, you learn a lot slower than everybody else does. They learn a lot quicker than you. So, you know, you can probably, you do good as like a bagger at the grocery store. You know what? Those are lies. Those are lies. If you knew your true identity, if you knew what you were capable of, and some of us, do you ever get a glimpse? Let me know. Do you ever get a glimpse of who you are? Like sometimes you'll just get, it's like you'll just get a very quick glimpse of the ideal you, or who you could be, or everything that's inside of you, and you start to feel motivated, and then all of a sudden the cares of the world come in, and you're like, and you start thinking about everything that could go wrong, or how much that's going to take, and we kind of get thrown off a little bit. When you get those glimpses of who you really are, capture it, write it down, because that is your true identity. I believe that's God trying to tell us and show us. Can you guys hear me all right? That's God trying to tell us and show us who we really are and what He's put us on earth to accomplish. And as long as we're true to that and we move forward in faith, we can accomplish anything. So I want you to think about that. Who are you? If you could, and if you have a pen and a paper, I want you to write down 5 positive qualities about yourself. When you were a child, what were you passionate about? What did people say? You are the best at what you do. Nobody can do that better than you. Some people, you're an encourager. People feel great when they're around you. Some people, you just, you have a gift with your hands. You can fix anything. Some people, I don't know what it could be. But these are the things that we need to remind ourselves. So who are you? Someone yell out one of your positive qualities. Passionate. Boy, you sure do need passion to be successful in life. A burning desire. Very good. Who else?
Encourager.
Encourager. I bet you draw people to you because they feel good when they're around you. They want to be around you. Absolutely.
Helpful.
Helpful. Absolutely. A lot of people have so much on their plate, they just can't handle it all. They sure would love to have you around where you can pick up the pieces behind them.
Positive.
Trainer.
Positive. Trainer. Very good. Keep going.
Fun.
Fun. I like to be around a fun person more than a boring person. Fun is good. What else? Proactive. There are so many people that have these dreams and visions, or at least they used to, but because they procrastinated out of fear or worry or whatever, they stopped going for it. I sure would want a proactive person on my team, someone that gets a vision and gets a goal and goes for it. Doesn't wait for anybody to give them permission. Who else?
Superman.
Superman! Everyone needs a hero. I love it. What else? Yes.
Social.
Social.
Meet new people every day.
So you have a gift
network.
of
Yeah.
you have a gift of connecting people probably. Reaching out and helping people come together. Awesome. And making people feel welcome. What else?
Compassion.
Compassion. The world needs more compassion. The world has a whole lot of judgment. We could use a lot more compassion. Do you all know that when you're thinking about your life's work, there's a good way to figure out where am I supposed to go moving forward? And if I could sit down with each of one of you, I would ask you two questions. The first one is, what do you love? What do you love? When you think about it, it just lights you up. You love it. It could be the outdoors. It could be nature. It could be children. It could be animals. It could be technology. What do you love? The second question is, what do you hate? Because I bet our life's work is somewhere tied into what we love and what we hate. I love giving people permission to love themselves exactly as they are. I studied personalities all growing up. I thought it was phenomenal. And I thought it was so interesting that we judge someone else because their personality is not like ours. But we were all made to be different. So when we learn other people's personalities, their quirks, their differences, then we learn to have more compassion and understanding as to why they are the way they are. And we don't try to change them into who we are anymore. That would be a really boring world, or a really chaotic world, if everyone was like me. We need introverts, we need extroverts, we need thinkers, we need feelers. So, what do you love and what do you hate? You'll find your passion somewhere in there, all right? So what are you saying to yourself? We talked about that a little bit. When you wake up in the morning, tell me, has anyone ever said affirmations before? Affirmations to themselves? Good. Ladies, yell out one of the affirmations that you tell yourself.
You are beautiful.
You are beautiful. And what else?
You can get it.
You can get it. Absolutely. Or you probably say, I am beautiful. I can do this. Everyone say it. I can do this.
I can do this.
I am wonderful.
I am wonderful.
You guys really sound like you believe it. I am wonderful. I am wonderful.
I am wonderful.
You all are wonderful. Oh, there you go. I believe it. If you think of a glass filled with gook, murky water, we were all born with this beautiful, clear, crystal clear glass of water. But over time, through all the lies of the enemy and the people around us, it's just filled with murky, nasty water. It's gooky, and when you look at it, you wouldn't want to drink it. But do you know what happens when you keep pouring in that clear, fresh water? Eventually, it displaces the negative, murky water, and we're replaced with that clear water. What's that clear, fresh water? It's the truth. You have to be the one that displaces the lies and the gooky, murky water with the truth about yourself. And that comes through affirmations. You want to hear some of mine?
Yes.
I affirm myself. Again, I'm not pushing my beliefs on you, but I get my affirmation. There's no better truth than the Bible. I am a daughter of the King. I do have access to unlimited resources. I am special. I am unique. I was made for a purpose. today is going to be a great day because I'm going to live out my purpose full out today and every day. Day by day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. I have to tell myself this. I can't focus on the lies that I've been told all growing up. And to some people, it sounds kind of hokey pokey. Like, okay, I'm not going to look in the mirror and be the person that says, I like myself. I'm going to feel kind of crazy. And you may feel silly doing it initially. I still challenge you to practice that. Because watch what happens. Your philosophy affects your attitudes. If you say, you know what, I'm going to give it a shot. Not for a month, for a week. Not for a week, today. Just see what happens. When you look at yourself in the mirror and you start affirming yourself, watch what happens. It may take a couple of times for it to start feeling less funny. But it works. You have to trust me and just give it a try. Understand your value and your worth. We're all here for a purpose, okay? We have to understand our value and our worth. You are worth something. You are very important to somebody. If no one has told you that you're important to them today, you're important to me. And I want to meet you afterward. I want to talk to you and find out, what are you passionate about? And if you don't know, let's figure it out together. You're that important to me that I want to know. So focus on who you are. More than focus on what someone can give you. If you focus on who you are, if you're so focused on the value that you bring and how valuable you are, people will flock to get what you have to give. You have a question?
No, I just wanted to comment. I think it's very important that I take the time to know your strengths.
Absolutely. You mean you want to know mine like right now?
No, I'm talking about just the people around you.
Oh,
that
yeah.
I take the time to know your strengths. And I don't comment, but it takes time to know other people's strengths, but it really makes everybody around you stronger.
Did everyone hear that? It's so true.
We've got mics available. I encourage folks, if you want to talk, we've got a runner in the back and a runner in the front.
Oh, perfect.
Let's use the mics.
And I believe, and I'm just going to, for the sake of, or you can say it one more time, sure.
An affirmation for me would be that I take the time to know your strengths. I think that makes our environment much stronger.
I agree. Something that has changed from yesterday to today is the amount of anonymity. Community used to mean something. People spent time to get to know each other, get to know each other's strengths. A lot of, back when there was bartering, they would say, I know you're great at this. Well, I'm great at this. So instead of paying each other money, let's form a partnership. Let's barter. You offer me your services, I'll offer you my services. Or what about networking, right? Networking is all about building professional relationships. What about if I found out we've got the gift of help right here. We've got the gift of compassion. We've got the gift of, social skills and encouraging. And what about if I found out, really dug in and found out what your strengths were, and then you all found out what my strengths were? Do you know we could be a force to be reckoned with? Someone gets an idea, I know exactly who to go to. They'll know exactly how to work with this situation. Very great observation. Absolutely. You guys give them a round of applause. Great observation. And Paul, this isn't working? Oh, yes it is. Hey.
Point
Okay.
it towards me.
What?
Point it towards me when you want to change.
Yes, sir, I will. Thank you. The next thing, what are you focused on? And we talked a little bit about that with the hand. What you focus on grows. If you are focused on the bill that's due 2 weeks from now, if you're focused on the mortgage, if all you're focused on are the cares of life that are dragging you down, then how much time and energy are you really going to be able to give toward what you want? I give you permission from this day forward to be so focused on what you want, you have no time to think about what you don't want. And I challenge you today, just for today. And then tomorrow when you wake up, just for tomorrow. But today, just for today. Every time you find yourself thinking about what you don't want, catch it and replace it with what you do want. You guys want an example? Okay. If someone thinks hard enough, I don't want a headache, 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 I don't want a headache. What do you think's gonna happen? You're gonna get a headache. Yeah, just because your brain doesn't hear I don't want, it focuses on the headache. But if you think about, I wanna feel great, I wanna feel great, I wanna have a lot of energy, I wanna feel amazing today, I wanna feel healthy and exuberant. You think you're gonna find yourself having a headache? You're probably gonna feel pretty great. What you focus on grows. I want to be extremely successful in the area that I was called to be successful in. You're gonna be a whole lot closer to finding that passion and what you were called to do than, I don't wanna go another month without having a job. I don't wanna have to figure out how to pay the light bills again. I want to be to add value to people and to get paid for the value I bring. Do you know that's all it is? We get paid for the value that we bring to other people. You provide more value, you'll get paid for it. So find your passion, find your value, start walking in it, and watch, the money will come. So what do you want? Write it down. I give you permission right now. If money were no object, what would you be doing? How would you be serving? What value would you bring? Go ahead and write that down. And I know this might be a little bit uncomfortable because most of us do not think about what we want. We did when we were kids. We thought about what we wanted to be when we grew up. But then somewhere along the line, life started happening and we forgot. Or we just didn't believe anymore. So what do you want? When I was little, I wanted to be a famous actress. I just knew one day I was going to move to California and become a famous actress. Well, no, I moved to California. I got that part because I grew up in Virginia, remember? So yeah, I moved to California. I'm not a famous actress, but I do get to stand on stage and talk to all of you. So I'm fulfilled. I am fulfilled. And this is way better than being in Hollywood around all of that nonsense. This has purpose. So what do you want? Give yourself permission to think about what you want. When you were younger, if you wanted to start your own business, and then you started realizing you got to write a business plan, and you got to raise capital, and you got to network, and you got to do all this, you got to worry about that, you got to find a lease, you got to find a place to... If you start worrying about all of that, then eventually you're going to say, I don't want to start that business anymore. Because you're so focused on what you don't want. Instead of focusing on, how can I? This is what I want, how can I? You guys see the difference? Good, very good. So from this day forward, you might have been a negative person before you came here this morning. I don't care. You have permission to shape how you want your future to be from this day forward. You have permission. I deem you permission. I give you permission to forget everything that happened before you came in this morning. And I give you permission to be completely positive for the rest of your life. Who you were when you came in this morning does not have to define who you are when you leave out. Let me say it again. Who you were when you came in this morning does not have to define who you are when you leave out. You can determine who you are. You can catch those negative thoughts. And you can decide to be positive moving forward. Or you can decide this was a nice chat. It's not really for you. That's okay too. It's your decision. It's not going to affect me at all. My job is to serve you and give you the information. What you do with it is on you. But you do have permission. I want to let you know that from this day forward, you do not have to be the same negative person that you were before you came in and got this information today. But it's your decision. And every decision has consequences, has results, positive or negative. So where do you want to be? What's your 5-year vision statement? A vision statement is different from goals. A vision statement propels you forward. Again, it's along the same lines of what do you want, except now you're being very clear. It's important to write a vision statement. I like to call it a day in the life. 5 years from now, what would your ideal life look like? So, what is today? June 29th, 2018. What would you like to be doing? Who would you like to be surrounded with? Close your eyes, please. Thank you for participating. Close your eyes and just envision yourself. Your perfect day 5 years from now. Where are you? Are you traveling? Are you at the beach? Are you in the mountains? Are you in the snow? Are you in a country home? Are you on a farm? Who's around you? Do you have your family? Do you have your first grandchild? Maybe your first child? Are you married? Are you surrounded with loved ones? Smell the air. Feel the air. Is it warm? Is it cool? Are you content? Think about what you've accomplished over the last 5 years. What have you accomplished? What are you proud of? What are you so glad you gave it your all and you got it done? Now open your eyes. Your vision propels you forward. A vision is not meant to be accomplished. A vision is meant to inspire and motivate you to move. Your vision stays out in front of you at 5 years at a time. Tomorrow, your 5-year vision will be for June 30th, 2018, and beyond. And then in 2018, or next year your 5-year vision will be for 2019. So your vision propels you forward, and it's always going to change. It's not supposed to stay stagnant like still water. It's supposed to flow like a river. It's supposed to continue to evolve as you go. As you learn to focus on what you want, your vision will propel you forward. Little acorn takes more than 5 years, but eventually a little acorn can turn into a huge oak tree. Then you take that vision statement and you break it down into your 5-year goals or annual goals. Has anyone ever heard of a SMART goal? Okay, a couple of people. This is good to write down. And also, if you'd like, we'll meet afterward, and if you give me your email address, I'll be happy to email my PowerPoint to you, and you can review this yourself later. And there's lots of good stuff on here that I won't be able to cover today, but I'll be more than happy to share it with you. What's mine is yours. So, SMART goals. You break that 5-year vision down into annual goals. So someone give me a vision that you had a day in the life. Your perfect day 5 years from now. Just very briefly. We may need a microphone. Let's get 2 or 3 people. Who's someone that wants to share a day in the life 5 years from now? Okay.
Hi, thanks for letting me speak. I actually wrote down my 5-year plan the other day.
Good for you.
And it was like amazing. I felt like so, wow, I finally understand what I need to do. It was really empowering.
So give me a quick snapshot.
Well, I wanted to be in international marketing and sales, and I've been wanting to do this all my life, and I speak 3 languages. And I finally came across a job description that suited me perfectly. So I counted backwards on how I would be able to be in that position just before, and that was really wonderful, looking at job descriptions, because it helped a lot to see what you need to do. But I would be in Europe, sitting in a cafe, writing up customer orders.
I believe your vision.
That's what I would be doing.
Very nice.
Maybe Paris, probably.
Paris. Very
but I
nice.
was working on orders because I would have been going to different customers and clients and taking your orders down.
Awesome. I believe your vision. You guys give her a round of applause. Thank you for sharing. One other person, your 5-year vision, day in the life, ideal day, perfect day. Don't be scared. We're all friends. Anybody? There we go. Right over here.
Hi everyone, my name is Katrina. So I close my eyes. What I envision actually has nothing really to do with what I've been looking for, so maybe there's an answer in that as well. But I would love to just own a very small operation with my husband. I'm thinking doing like a coffee vending thing, a wine vending, maybe combine the 2. But when you asked, to close the eyes and just see all of this stuff, it was just him and I, the kids that we don't have yet. But, just a good family, a nice, humble feeling. I'm happy with not much, not anything grand, but something that that we can call our own, and that makes me happy to wake up to every single day.
Awesome. Thank you. You guys give her a round of applause. A vision statement is not meant to make you feel anxious or anxiety. It's meant to make you feel great. To focus on what you want so much that you don't have time to worry about how it's going to happen. That'll work itself out. The how always. When the why is big enough, the how always works itself out. So that was great. Thank you, ladies. So you break down your vision statement, and we're almost done. I have about 5 minutes left, and so I am going to hand this PowerPoint out to you because this is important information. But you break it down into something called SMART goals. You want to be specific. Be clear about what you want. The more precise you are, the better. If you know what type of car you want to be driving, don't just say a nice car. Be very specific. I want to be driving a Mercedes or a BMW 335i convertible white with leather seats and tan interior and electronic everything. If that's what you want, that's okay. If you want to serve, where do you want to serve? We heard the country, we heard the restaurant, we heard what she'd be eating. Be specific. Make your goals measurable. So give a number to it. So example, if you were going to start your own business, both of you ladies were talking about owning your own business, well then you'd want to break it down. What would I want to accomplish in the first year? What would make my first year toward accomplishing that goal successful year? How could I set myself up for success better? And measurable. So, I need to network with this many people. I need to complete this many business proposals, or whatever that may be. I need to raise this much money, whatever that goal may be. Then make it attainable. Some people say, I want $1 million in my first year. Well, it's possible, depending on, we are near Silicon Valley, right? So it's possible. A lot of people make $1 million their first year. But knowing yourself and your work ethic and your drive and your level of connections, is that attainable for you? So a vision can be huge. It can be, I challenge you to think of something that is so big, other people will look at you like you're crazy. Oh my gosh, that is a huge goal. What's the biggest thing you can think of? Or a vision. That's for your vision. For your goals, you want to actually make them attainable. So when you think of your first year, think about what's realistically you would be able to accomplish in your first 12 months. And then from there, you want it to be relevant. If you're talking about starting a business, you're not going to set a goal to go play in the park every day. I don't know. But you want your goal to be relevant to whatever the vision is that you have. Then finally, time bound. You do want to put a time amount to it. The worst thing that we can do, if we're not like the gentleman, whoever said that he's proactive, the worst thing we can do is just have a goal out there, but we don't have a deadline attached to it, because then it might just become a rolling goal, and we never might really accomplish that rolling goal. Another mentor of mine, Paul J. Meyer, says success is the progressive realization of predetermined, worthwhile goals. That's all success is. You know what that's telling me? Success is not the day that you get the 6-figure job. Success is not the day that you're sitting in Paris doing what you love. Success is waking up this morning and coming to a workshop instead of sleeping in on a Saturday morning. Success is choosing to think positive every day when everything in you wants to go negative. It's choosing to discipline your brain to do the exact opposite of what you've done your entire life. That is success. Every day that you make the right decisions, you are being successful. The day that you get the results, that's just the outward expression of what you've already been doing all along the way. It's not like one day you wake up and, oh, I'm successful. You can be successful today, you can be successful tomorrow, or you cannot. You can choose to just go on along, just wandering along as you go, and eventually you'll land somewhere. We all land somewhere. Or you can choose to be proactive and intentional about where you're going to go with your life. So you break down your annual goals into monthly goals, and then you break down your monthly goals into weekly activity and daily activity. And that's how you accomplish a predetermined worthwhile goal. So the final thing that I want to cover in my last couple of minutes is why. Why are you here today? Why did you really show up this morning? Did you show up because you had nothing else to do? Your wife kicked you out of the house? Did you show up because, why did you show up? You showed up for a reason. There's something that you wanted, which is why you came this morning. Do you just feel better? You're being around positive people. Are you at your wit's end and you're like, okay, I might as well go to this church thing. I don't really believe in God. I don't really think he's out there. If he was, then why isn't he helping me out? But I'm just going to come because they told me to come. And that's okay too. You're still here. You're here for a reason. Hopefully something helped you out. But why did you come? You wanted something, which is why you showed up this morning. Why do you want to work in your particular field? Why do you want to start that business? Why do you want to work for that job? What are the benefits that you're going to receive? It's not just for a paycheck. If there's anything that I can leave with you other than you become what you think about, just realize the work that you do is not for the paycheck. If you're going to a job for a paycheck, you've missed it. The greatest definition of failure that I've learned is being successful in the wrong area. If we know deep down inside of us that we were called to be successful in one area, but for whatever reason we've let fear or whatever that may be, anxiety, stop us from moving forward in that area, and instead we say, well, you know what, this area is a little bit easier and I'm just going to go be successful at that. And you do phenomenally well, but you are meant to be over there. I believe I believe, you don't have to agree with me, but I believe that is the definition of failure, because you, with everything in you, you know you were supposed to go that way, but you took the other road. So why are you here? You guys have an amazing opportunity in front of you. I'm assuming because you're here today, there's some sort of fork in the road. You're in some sort of time of transition. You get to decide moving forward which direction you're going to go. And you really have to dig down deep inside, figure out what you want, figure out why you want it, and do it. If you're going to end up working a job, which is okay, working, and let me put this caveat, and I'm almost done. Sometimes you have to work an 8-hour, 10-hour, 12-hour job just to pay the bills while you're working on your passion. There is nothing wrong with that. You got to eat. Okay? My only warning to you is do not, like Bruce said in my introduction, do not build your passion around your current job. Find out what your passion is and figure out what jobs you have to work to lead you to that passion. That's the most important thing. The important thing is not the paycheck. If you're going to work a job, work it for the skills that you gain. Work it for the skills that you're going to gain along the way to your ultimate destination. There is nothing wrong with working at Walmart if it's teaching you how to interact with customers, because you have to interact with customers or learn to sell if you're going to own your own business. So if you're going to work a job, don't focus on the paycheck. Focus on the skills that you're going to gain and how they're going to help set you up for that ultimate vision. And please, please, please don't settle for less than you deserve, because you all deserve the best. Thank you all so much. Give yourselves a round of applause. I'd love for you to join me. If you have any questions, or if you'd like, perhaps we can start passing around a piece of paper. If you would like the PowerPoint, there's plenty more that I wasn't able to cover today. Please write your email address down so I can read it, and I will email you the PowerPoint. If you will, join me next door. If you have any questions, I'd love to answer your questions. And thank you all so much, and I'll pass it back to Bruce.
Thank you.